We have more bugs to talk about, which is quite surprising. The list goes on and on. We've talked about data loss in Dandy's World, where people lose twisted research and tunes are missing. However, the opposite happened to this player. They said this weird bug where I was able to get Shelly even though I don't have enough iCore. Then they said, I don't know why after purchasing Shelly, I actually ended up having more iCore than I originally did. What? Let's take a look. So the system says that they have 1,474 iCore and Shelly costs over 4,000 iCore. As you can see, Shelly's icon is green, which means she can buy Shelly. And then when they bought Shelly, as you can see, the game gave them more iCore after buying Shelly early. What? So Dandy's World gave this player like 1,300 iCore after buying Shelly? What? A similar thing happened to this user. They says I have 1,508 pumpkins even though I only have 8 pumpkins. And as you can see, they have only 8 pumpkins in the bottom left corner, but the system thinks they have 1,508 pumpkins. That means they can actually use those pumpkins to buy a tune, because whatever the statistic says is how much it thinks you have. So there's definitely some data problems happening in Dandy's World. We have another bug to add to the list in our newest Halloween map. This user said invisible wall by the stairs, and as you can see, there is a wall over here and you can't go past it, and people have gotten trapped. In roleplay mode, Tegan's skin Purple Elegance is bugged. This is not what Tegan's skin is supposed to look like. It's supposed to look like this. Many players are having problems with their inventory and using items. This user said my speed candy couldn't be used and it took up a space in my inventory. And as we can see, they cannot use their speed candy. It seems to only be happening on mobile players, people on tablets or mobile phones. Yesterday, we spoke about how T.Gourdy's attention span was way too long and something wasn't right, something was definitely fishy. It turns out T.Gourdy can see through walls, so that's why his attention span is so long. This user said, I don't think Gordy should be able to see through these, right? Let's take a look. So they're on the warehouse map, T.Gourdy is roaming around. Let's see what happens. Roger gets spotted from behind an obstacle. T.Gourdy has superpowers, he can see through walls. So if it feels like you can't lose T.Gourdy, that's because he can see you through walls. That bug needs a patch right now. We are now going to be talking about some Eclipse problems. So when Eclipse turns into a werewolf, she has different animations. Running animations, walking animations. This user said Eclipse does the wrong run animation on the treadmill during a blackout. So it's a blackout and Eclipse is supposed to be running on her 4 legs, but on the treadmill she's running normally, and on a blackout this is how Eclipse is supposed to run on her 4 legs. If you've ever played Eclipse on a blackout, when she's in her transformation mode, you may have experienced this. This user said if you try moving while transforming as Eclipse, you fall over. Okay, so it's Eclipse, it's a blackout, she's transforming, and if you try and move your tune, this happens. So she falls on her face. You may have also noticed that a few tunes have their faces clipping through machines. As you can see, Eclipse's face is inside the machine. Players are noticing some weird particles in their runs. This user said, leaf particles in the air, don't know how this happened, but it's definitely not supposed to be there. And if we take a look, the particles, there are some leaf particles flying around. And it's happening to this player as well. They said, what is this? It looks like Gordy's particles when he's going into distress mode. And they can see the leaf particles on this map as well. It's kind of spooky. It's almost like somebody's doing it. Kind of weird. Like there's a ghost there? I don't even know. Very spooky. This player noticed something when completing skill checks. And if we take a look, the normal machines don't actually tell you to hit the skill check in the golden yellow part. It just says the white part, but on the circle machines, it tells you how to complete the skill check properly. Press the skill check button when the red circle is in the yellow or grey zone. Our next bug is very surprising that nobody has realized this until now, and it's to do with our savory charm. This user said, savory charm doesn't work on Twisted Connie. Okay, this is a short video. So their savory charm is active and Twisted Connie is in the machine. Let's see what happens. Even with savory charm active. If you've played Shrimpo, you may have realized that when using stickers, it appears inside him. This only happens with Shrimpo, and this also happens whilst in the game, so that needs to be fixed. If you've typed a message in Dandy's World, you may have realized that Roger's face can be seen inside the message. This user said, I don't know if this is a bug or not, but Roger's face model phases through chat bubbles. And as we can see, Roger's eye does appear in chat bubbles. I've also experienced this as well. Very interesting. If you've ever had items disappear in your inventory, this user may have found a reason why that is. They basically said, if other people use items that is the same as the item in your inventory or something similar, then it will disappear from your inventory as if somebody else is using your items. Kind of spooky. There's a lot of spooky things happening in Dandy's World, and it's Halloween. Very weird. You can of course pause the video and read this for yourself. If you've had the chance to play Sylvester and buy his new skin, you may have realized that his lighting isn't different. This user said Sylvester's light on his new skin still shows up teal. As we can see, Sylvester's lighting is the same as his default skin, and people are just wondering if the color should be different because the skin color is a different shade. If you visited Gordy's shop, you may have realized that the gossip button has Dial's icon. Quell has said, yeah, that was my bad. I didn't make an icon before this trip I'm on. I'll be sure to make one when I return from my trip. But I make most 2D assets, just my mistake, sorry for that. So it's not intentional for Dial's icon to be there. A lot of players are still getting this error saying that they are logged in from another device. This user may have a solution. They basically said if you play solo, that fixes the issue. Another user has said it's a private server issue. So if you want to play with your friends, try joining a public lobby with less people inside so all of your friends can play together. If that doesn't work, try playing solo. Those are the only solutions we have so far. Our next bug is to do with the Care Bear skins. This is a big problem because this user said, I bought the Shelly Care Bear costume but never received it. And here they are showing proof that they do not have the skin. However, when they go to their Roblox, they are showing that they bought the skin, minus 100 Robux, the Care Bear Shelly skin. So I'm guessing there must be other people having this problem as well. I wonder what's happening there. If you've played against Twisted Roger and Twisted Gordy on the same floor, you may have encountered this. Waited 20 floors to see Gordy, then Roger spawned inside of him. It caused a few injuries. And as we can see, Twisted Roger is hiding right next to Twisted Gordy. And if somebody tries to feed Gordy, you know what's gonna happen. Lastly, we have a problem with blackouts. The lights are not working for some people. This user said they added blindness 3 to blackouts. As we can see, this pebble hasn't got a light of his own, just wandering around in the dark.